What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with the final post-game video of the 2022 NFL season. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for clicking on the video. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Still have a lot of off-season stuff to talk about, obviously. But first things first, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. That was an absolute ass whooping you laid on us. There's no excuse. There's no anything there. The better team won. That's really all this equated to tonight. Way better than us. We did Chris and I did those collabs with LB and Philly Mike, Joey Shakes, and Philly 500. They all said talent was going to win out. Talent did win out tonight. They just out-talented us, and we lost to a better team. I hate losing. I really hate losing to Philadelphia. I really do. But sometimes just tip your cap and just say the team is better. For me, anyway, it's easier to take a loss. I hate getting embarrassed, but it's easier to take that kind of loss. Just say you lost to a better team as opposed to losing on a last-second field goal where you go over like every play in your head. If we could have done this different, if we could have done that different, if we could have done this different, it would have been awesome. It would have been different. And you drive yourself crazy. Tonight, there's no moral victory. The only moral victory we really have is just a great season. So first things first, man, I said the Giants had to get off to a good start. I've been saying that all week. It was imperative that they got off to a good start, and hopefully Philadelphia was rusty. We had to come out, punch them in the mouth early and get on top of them, and we had to play perfect, and they had to make mistakes. And the complete opposite thing happened, right? We turned it over twice, once on downs, once on an interception. They went down, scored 2 touchdowns, and pretty much from there on forward, it was good night, Irene. The massive gap in talent really showed up with their offensive line just pushing around and manhandling our defensive front. Our linebackers are an atrocity. That is a weak group of positional players. That is something to focus on in the draft and free agency. The Giants have got to get better in that interior linebacking spot. The second level of our defense is really bad. But, same thing. Our offensive line, it got demolished. When you got down 14-0 and it was pretty much became one-dimensional, Daniel Jones was kind of thrown against the stacked deck. He didn't have a good game, and I understand there's going to be people saying, oh, you can't give Jones money. And, it is what it is. It's an emotional game. I'm not going to have the Daniel Jones conversation anymore. The season's over. We're going to see what Daniel Jones does, or we're going to see what Joe Shane and Brian Dable decide to do. He's either coming back here or he's not. I'll talk about Daniel Jones more when he either signs here or signs someplace else. I truly believe that he should be back here. One bad game, I saw people in the chat, you can't give this guy money. He's terrible. Guy had a great season, and we got to this point a lot because of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had a lot to do with us reaching this level, which we haven't reached this level since 2011. Okay, we hadn't won a playoff game in 11 years. So he had a lot to do with that. Brian Dable had a lot to do with that, but I thought Brian Dable had a rough night tonight. There was one play, when we did turn it over on downs where, it was second down and 1, or I'm sorry, it was second down, or what was it, 3rd and 3, and Daniel, instead of running it in 4-down territory, they went back to pass it. They got sacked. It was 4th and 8, and then they went for it, and he got sacked again. I thought that was bad. I thought punting early in the fourth quarter from your 42 and you're down 3 scores. I didn't understand that either. So there was definitely some odd situations. I thought Wink Martindale playing a very soft zone on 3rd and 3 on the Eagles' first drive, where Adoree Jackson was playing 10 yards off of A.J. Brown. Didn't make a lot of sense. I thought the Giants were very passive at the beginning of that game, which I really didn't understand. I thought that the Giants you go for broke. You're playing against a team that's way better than you. And they've been way better than you. Like, they killed us the first game, and they killed us in this game, and you got to take some chances. Minnesota was a little different. We played them pretty evenly the first game, so you could tell that we were a good match. But Philadelphia had beat the brakes off us the first game. You got to do something different. We didn't, and it ended up costing us. So it is what it is. But, again, whenever your season ends in a postseason, if you don't win your last game of the season in the playoffs, which is the Super Bowl, it always sucks. It's always a crappy feeling when your team loses its last game of the year. But what I can say is, as a Giants fan, I believe brighter days are ahead. I believe we're way ahead of schedule. I certainly did not expect to win a playoff game in with the first year of what they consider to be a rebuild with a new head coach and a new coaching staff in general. Daniel Jones having to learn another playbook, a new front office, little cap space. They overachieved, in my opinion. I definitely didn't think they'd be there. I had a great season. It was so much fun. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys and girls that, rode with me for the last 5 years on here with Bad Football Teams, but especially this year. It was a lot of fun. I was watching that hype video with, Chris and I doing the voice, not the voiceovers, but our calls were in that hype up video, and just looking back and listening to that and seeing how excited we had. A lot of good moments this year's Giants. We really did. You look back at the season, there was a lot of fun times that, we didn't expect to beat the Ravens. We didn't expect to beat the Packers, and beating them in back-to-back weeks was fantastic. Right from the get-go, we beat the Titans with a 2-point conversion. There was a lot of good things that happened for the Giants this year, and in my opinion, they far outweighed the bad. There's still a lot of work to do on this team. We have a lot of units that would need work. Wide receiving room needs work. Interior linebacker, especially interior offensive line, cornerback. We need a lot of help. Again, that's why this team a lot of people picked them to win 4 and 5 games and finish dead last in the NFC East because of all those holes, because of limited cap space, because there wasn't a lot of flexibility for Shane to bring in free agents. You might have found something in Isaiah Hodgins. There's definitely good. Dexter Lawrence had a fantastic year. Daniel Jones had a fantastic year. Saquon, had a great year coming back from injury. There was a lot of good from this Giants team. I thought Kayvon Thibodeau, he was inconsistent. He definitely had his moments. He's he's showed that he has what it takes to be an absolute dominant edge rusher. He's shown that. Now he just has to get more consistent, and that'll come with time. I felt like Evan Neal, he was inconsistent this year. He'll learn. Andrew Thomas had a rough rookie season too, but I think that Evan Neal's ceiling is very high. I think he'll be very good at right tackle for us as well. So there was definitely some good things. And listen, man, Richie James had a good year for the Giants. I know he had his moments where it was not very good, but he had a lot of big catches for us. He did a lot of good things. Richie James, somebody that nobody even knew who the hell he was going into this year, but he had a lot of big catches for us. And again, I thought Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale, I thought they did an absolutely fantastic job with this team. Just a fantastic job with what they had out there. Got the absolute most out of what they could get. They squeezed every drop of blood from the stone that is the New York Giants, roster. And this was as far as it goes. It sucks to lose to Philadelphia. They beat us all the time. They just do. I hate losing to them, but they're better than us. And yeah, I know I said I was going to win the game. I get it. I'm a Giants fan. I'm not going to pick against my team in the playoffs. It's just not happening. It's not happening. I did say in the stream the other night, I said, if the Eagles are going to beat us, they're going to have to blow us out, because I just felt like if the game is close in the fourth quarter, pressure might have mounted, and we've been in those games all year. The Giants were a team that always had those games, those close games we ended up winning. Philadelphia usually had games where they blew guys out, and then they just kind of, ran the ball in the second half, which is exactly what they did tonight. So they got off to a good start. And listen, I'm not taking anything away from that. That's a great team over there. I don't like them, but they're a fantastic team. They have a great GM. They made really good moves. And, as a Giants fan, I look at what the Eagles did last season. They weren't supposed to be in the postseason last year. They were 5-7 at one point. They won their last 4 games. I'm sorry, were they 5-7-1 last year, and they won. I don't know if I could be wrong, but I think they were 5-7-1, and they won their last 4 games. I could be wrong about their record. If I am, I'm sorry, but I thought they finished at 9-7-1, which is our record. And then in the first game of the postseason, they got blown out by Tampa Bay. They were down 31-0 going to the fourth quarter. They ended up losing, I think, 31-15. They overachieved. They had a young quarterback that a lot of fans at the end of that game said he's not our guy. He came back the next year under the same system. They went out and got him an A.J. Brown, and he excelled. So as a Giants fan, if you look at what the Eagles did and kind of look at that blueprint, you got a Brandon Brown who came from that organization. You could say the Giants are 9-7-1. They overachieved. Probably didn't belong there. Did win a playoff game, and go out and get Daniel Jones, a number 1 receiver, and build that interior offensive line. And let's see what we got. But I think the Giants got the right pieces in place as far as the front office and the coaching staff goes. Obviously, there's going to be interested in Mike Kafka and Wink Martindale. We'll see if they come back. We'll see what they do with Daniel Jones. We'll see what they do with Saquon. There's a lot of questions going in. There's a lot of decisions to be made for Brian Daboll and Joe Shane and Brandon Brown, and we'll see what they do. It'll be an interesting offseason, but this season to me was a lot of fun. I haven't got to do playoffs. I haven't had the pleasure of calling games or doing videos about a good Giants team in many, many, many years. And this season was a lot of fun. It was a fun ride while it lasted. Unfortunately, it comes to a crashing end here at the Field of Horrors, where we just cannot seem to win a football game in any capacity. But again, it was a great season for the Giants. I appreciate all the support you guys and girls show on my channel. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers. I am your biggest fan for the next 2 weeks. So that's all I got to say about that. In any case, thank you for watching, everybody. It's always go Giants. It's a bad diggity dizzle, and I'm out. Peace.